Hey guys, welcome back to the Hands-On channel. If you're watching this video like me, you're probably pretty intrigued by these what they call rocket stoves. I've been watching these videos for years of guys making different versions of their own version of a rocket stove. Well, this is mine here at the Hands-On channel. I made this thing about a year or two ago, but I just haven't had any time to really mess with it too much. I did run it a couple of times. One time I ran it and was trying to boil up some water, and I never could get it to boil. I think my wood was a little bit wet, and plus I was using this thing kind of as a spacer to keep my wood up off the bottom. This time we're just going to try it with the open firebox because my firebox is not very big on this thing, so I want to be able to get as much heat and wood out of it as I can. But basically I attached this thing here at the top just by welding a nut on there and threading a bolt down in it with a spring. And the idea of this is I've got a couple of options here. I can go open and let the flame blow right through that, or if I need to turn it down, cool it down a little bit, I can just heat this metal up here. It's just a piece of angle iron that I cut down, and maybe that'll cool it down. And like if I needed to just kind of keep it warm or keep it going at a boil and I didn't want it to violently boil, but I've made this threaded so that I can raise it and lower it if I need to get it up away from the heat or get it down a little bit closer to the heat. Another thing I did in the past was I went ahead and drilled a couple of bigger holes in here because I just didn't feel like it was getting enough airflow up the chimney. I was getting some smoke out of the front there and stuff like that. So once I did that, it worked a heck of a lot better. Now, the practicality of something like this, I guess it kind of depends on where you're going to use it. If you're going to use it home-based, it's probably pretty good, but I would not recommend something like this for backpacking because it's just too darned heavy. This is a fairly small one that I built here, and it probably weighs like 10 or 12 pounds, I would guess. And I bet you that's enough to start this thing. I hope so. Yep, there it goes. This guy's over here where you can look down the barrel here. Now, one thing I've noticed is you don't want to overstuff it at the beginning because it'll cut down on your airflow. But you can see right now there's still smoke coming back out, so the flue effect has not heated up yet. So we're going to give it just a minute and keep putting some small stuff in here. And this is the first time I've tried it without this plate, so hopefully my performance will be a lot better. Last time I wasn't super impressed, and I was kind of like, well, why is everybody so excited about these things? I mean, they're neat, and of course everybody loves to play with fire, but what's the advantage, if it doesn't do anything? And I'm probably going to need one stick here just for poking. Keep these going in. I hear it making the rocket noise. Okay, we're going really good right now, so I'm going to go ahead and put our water on there. Again, just to show you, it's probably warmed up a little bit here. It's 73 degrees. Go ahead and put that on. And if you're going to do these kinds of experiments, make sure your wife's not around. She'll be like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing with my pot? Luckily, she doesn't watch the Hands-On channel videos, so she'll never know about this. Okay, it's going to get that pot a little bit black, though. She may notice that. Sometimes you can just be like, I don't know, dear, what happened to that thing? Yeah, look at that rocket action. Trying to get it over the maximum point of heat there. And the bad thing about these rocket stoves is, meanwhile, you got to keep feeding them. Now, I saw another design. It was kind of a gravity feed design where the sticks would kind of tend to fall down in there. And that would be my recommendation if you're going to make one of these things, because for one, the firebox is so small on mine. You may want to consider building a larger firebox if you're going to do this. And then you wouldn't have to sit here and feed it so much. But I went inside to turn the air conditioner off a moment ago, and by the time I came back out, it was smoking, and it was not rocket stoving anymore. No longer rocketing. So that's no good. You got to keep adding sticks. Not a whole bunch, but enough to keep that firebox roaring. So I'm not really sure what the craze is all about, to be honest with you. I mean, it's really no more than just a wood stove. You just created a little L-shaped wood stove there. But the internet and YouTube for the past, I don't know, 10 years now has just been crazy about rocket stoves. So I made one, and I mean, it's okay. It's doing what it's supposed to do here. It's pretty neat, but I'm not sure that, I don't know where it fits in, I guess is what I'm trying to say, into a prepper or survivalist mindset. The one good thing about it is that I guess, you know, that you can use sticks and twigs that you would normally not be able to use effectively. So there is that. If all you had available was sticks and twigs and stuff like this, then maybe this is the thing. But personally, I prefer to put a larger piece of wood in and not have to sit here and feed the thing, nursing it over and over. So in that way, rocket stove's kind of a pain in the butt, because you got to sit here and keep it going. Otherwise, it'll just go out on you. So I'm gonna put a little bigger piece in there. Hopefully that'll help with that. That's why I haven't made a video on it. I made the thing and I used it a couple times, and I was like, well, this is not what I thought it was going to do. It did not do what I thought it was going to do. I mean, it's not some miraculous reinvention of fire like a lot of people present it on YouTube. Okay, so we're at 464 degrees right there. Let's check about halfway up the pipe. What is that, 441? Okay, let's check right up near the top. 389. Oh, and notice something else. The ash is coming up out of here and sitting right here on top. So if you were open cooking something with no lid on it, you'd probably get quite a bit of ash. Now if you're roughing it, maybe that doesn't matter to you, but you know, your wife might not like eating that. And let's see if we're boiling yet. We've got the first sign of bubbles in there and a little bit of steam, so we're getting there. But it's making the rocket noise, and that's what everybody seems to like. I'm just not sold on them. I've thought about building another one, but I just don't, again, I don't see the place for them. It's just, to me, it's kind of pointless. I mean, unless you just want to play with fire, and you can do that you can just do that on the open ground or in a barbecue grill or something. So I don't get it. We're at 6 minutes in already. So we'll pause here for a moment because I don't want to bore you. We'll come back here in a few moments when this thing starts boiling, and I'll turn the camera back on, but I'll leave this running. Okay, at about 9 minutes, we hit roaring boil, or violent boil. Not bad. Of course, that's only 2 cups of water in a small pot. So guys, I don't know. You know, does it boil water? Yeah. Will it cook? Can you cook on it? Yeah, you sure can. It puts off a heck of a lot of ash. Maybe there's some way to deal with that, but I haven't seen anybody address that yet in any of their videos. They're, you know, it seems to me like it's like snake oil with this kind of stuff. Sometimes, you know, people that get on a jag like this, rocket stoves, and they just think they're the answer to everything. Now, maybe I'm evaluating it too harshly. Maybe if I had the ultimate rocket stove here, I would be like, oh my God, now I totally get it. But I can boil on an induction cooker. Now, of course, that requires electricity, but on one of those induction cookers, I can boil water in like a minute, minute and a half. I mean, it's unbelievably fast. So, does it work? Yeah, there's the proof right there. Proof's in the pudding. Of course, you want to have dry sticks, and someone suggested to me that if you wanted to turbocharge this thing, you could throw in a couple of pieces of pitch, pine pitch, and that probably would make it, you know, take off like crazy. It's a fun little experiment. If you're thinking about it, try it. I'm not trying to discourage you from doing it. Maybe you could build a better one than me. Again, this is my first one, so I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to do. And I made this out. I didn't design this with intention when I made the square tube there. I was just actually practicing welding, and it just turned into a rocket stove. So guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Is it worth building and worth the fun little, you know, experiment in the backyard and playing with fire? Sure, do it. But is it going to be like the do-all stove that a lot of these guys say it is on the internet? No, it's not. I mean, look there. I stopped messing with it for a second or two, and it's already kind of died down. So I can stir it around a bit, but I'm getting so full back there that I'm not getting as much draw as I was before. And ouch, I just burned my finger on that thing. It's really hot. In fact, I kind of wonder if that wouldn't be the better cooking surface, because look at this, 550 degrees right there, and as we go up we're losing temperature. So guys, I don't know, I think a regular wood stove type of a deal, or a smaller stove and you just cook on top of it, might be the answer. Again, you're not getting the direct flame though of that, so depends what you want to do. But this is my little video on the rocket stove. I'm not sold on them. I may make another one in the future if you guys want to see that, maybe a larger one that's self-feeding, just to give it another chance. So let me know what you think of this. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Share your experiences with rocket stoves down in the comments, and until then, we'll see you next time.